Good morning, Palin Music Center fans. It's time for the Palin Music Center live stream with your hosts, Jordan Carr, Michael Henderson,
Hello.
and Chase Shears.
Coming in hot, Elijah Daddy Perkins here in just a little
His
bit.
car didn't start, so he's on his way. Special guest.
Yeah, happy Friday, y'all.
Happy Friday.
It's a beautiful, sunny, dry day.
Oh, it's a beautiful day.
It's going to be a gorgeous day today. Good day for slinging guitars and playing rock and roll, and I'm going to do a little bit of both
Yeah,
tonight.
Mike, tell us what you're doing tonight.
Man, I get to make a lot of noise up at Tie and Timber again. I play there a lot, but me and some friends are doing a 90s night. There's going to be an hour of Mazzy Star opening for us, and then Nirvana for 2 hours. It's going to get loud. It's going to get awesome.
Do you guys do the Nirvana show as a three-piece or
4? Yeah.
4? So
I'm
2 guitars.
I'm the Pat.
So you're in
technically.
utero Nirvana.
I'm the addition. So yeah, I'm definitely the addition to the band. But it's fun, and I just get to scratch an itch I didn't know I had to scratch with high gain screaming.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
So do you sing on those ones, or did you say it's your buddy who does the singing?
My buddy Johnny Shelton, he's Kurt for the most part, so he does all that big stuff, and I add in a little bit of harmony stuff, some of the Dave Grohl backing things. I actually get to do the one Dave Grohl song that's on a Nirvana. Yeah, Marigold, a random one off of the Deluxe in Utero.
Good song.
It's a cool song. It's kind of strange, but it's really neat, and so I get to sing the one Dave song tonight.
That's
gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, but it's a hot band. My buddy Nick and Snap, that are both in the local Machine Gun Symphony. They are a phenomenal rhythm section. I mean, when you got a bass and a drummer, that's just like they don't even think; they just play well. All I have to do is hit the right notes too, and it's pretty fun.
Well, like
It
you
really
said,
is.
that's kind of the fun part with like Nirvana stuff, or like Ramones, or just any like
Yeah.
the kind of punk or grunge stuff.
Yeah.
That's not the too complicated versions of them. It's
Exactly.
like it is just kind of a primal itch, because it's just like, as guitar players, we get a little too in our heads and be like, oh, I need to be technical, I need to be on the spot, I need to be playing right. It's like that's not the music to do with. The whole point of that music is the recklessness and kind of the craziness. And so it's like it's kind of fun as a guitar player. It's
is.
like the letting loose night kind of deal.
Well, and that's why, a lot of stuff I play, I mean, there's parts and things, and it's just, so this is literally, tone and attitude and, just headbanging and sweaty, and it's just, it's fun. Like I said, I didn't know I needed that in my life, but
Are
boy,
you playing
is it
outside
satisfying.
tonight?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
we're going to have a
it's
great
gonna be
night
a
out on the
great
docks.
night.
So, yeah, there'll be plenty of room
I'll
out
have
in
to
the
check with
garden.
my wife. I can't remember if she's going to be in town. That sounds like fun. I might come.
It would
watch
be
you
fun.
tonight.
It's a cool spot. It's just a beautiful neighborhood over there in the Pickwick area. Kind of by MSU campus, and it's going to be a great time. So come sing along, come scream along. It's just enjoy some drinks. Yeah, try to help me hit that high note, because that's really hard to do. Get you up on stage and help me.
And I don't like what it means.
Yes, that
Don't
is
like what it means.
Grohl.
And I say.
Dave Grohl behind the kit in his 20s singing that stuff. It's crazy. I mean, obviously we know he's the scream king, so to speak,
Oh, yeah.
but man, that's hard to do. It's hard to do. A singing drummer, and with that kind of power and range.
Dude.
It's
100%. So like my band, we were practicing, and we're kind of in the entry stages of our band, trying to figure out like how we work, like who everyone is, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So like right now, each week we have practice.
Getting to
Someone else
know
leads
you.
kind of the band, and like they'll pick a song that we need to learn for that week,
Yeah.
and we'll do it. So this week we did "Drain You" by Nirvana, and for any of you that don't know or remember the song, it's the one baby to another said I'm lucky to met you. And so like,
good.
But every time I practice a song, because I would just kind of like think of it mentally throughout the day and like practice it in my mind. And for some reason, every time I do it, it'd always be in Bloom. And so like in my mind, I'm doing bump, bump, bump. And I'm like, I'm playing this song so wrong. I'm terrible at this song. I'm like, no, that's not the right song.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I had a thing with that when I was sorting that one out, because for whatever reason, that was one that kind of got by me until I got into this project, and I would confuse the strumming pattern with "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Oh yeah.
Because it's like they're similar, but they're not the same thing, and
It's that.
it's
They're pretty close.
and I've always been this guy. I love this song. What's it called? And so, especially when I get into something like this, where I was always familiar but not like in depth familiar. Half the battle, man, is just knowing what that song is called.
Yeah.
What's the name of this one again?
You know what?
It's
We
the
should
other
make
one in
that-
F sharp. Okay, cool.
We should make that a game
Yeah.
on our live stream, is doing like early 2000s song titles and trying to figure out what the song, like listen to the song
Right.
and say what the song title is, because it's like I love bands like Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco and stuff, but literally their songs are almost a full paragraph. Like just the title is just a
Right.
full paragraph, and it's like, what's this song called? Because it's never written in the chorus. Like,
Yeah.
oh crap, what is it? Like the first song off of From Under the Cork Tree is like, our lawyers made us change this song so we didn't get hit with a lawsuit. And it's like, because they were gonna name it. I think what's the what's he
Hey
was
Jude?
no, it was they were gonna name it after a singer from like the '60s, like one of the big boppers and stuff like that. That like was kind of like a bad bandmate to the rest of his team and got remembered for it.
Oh.
And like they were gonna name the song.
Ooh, just
that,
little too
and
on the
then their-
nose, huh?
Their lawyers came and said, you can't name the song that. So like, okay, we're just gonna name the song. Our lawyers made us change the name of this song so we didn't get hit with the lawsuit.
Well,
It's like
that's
it's
kinda
stuff
cool.
like that. It's like it's so hard to remember the name titles.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But so I'm excited. What time does that start tonight, Mike?
So 7 o'clock is going to be the Mazzy Star, and that's going to be some friends of mine, my buddies from Sound the Alarm, are going to be doing the rhythm section there, and then Johnny Shelton, who is the Kurt in the Nirvana thing, and his lovely wife Katie, who
so
they're
there's 3 openers.
well, no, they're all 4 of those guys make up the band in the Mazzy Star,
I gotcha,
and then
I gotcha.
Johnny will stay on stage and wear himself out doing all the Kurt stuff. So yeah, Johnny and Katie, you've probably seen them around town from the mixtapes fame, and we see Johnny in
Do you
here
have
all
a
the
DS1
time.
on your board for the show?
Yeah, Johnny. Johnny is very generous with his gear. So
Oh, is this
join-
the guy who has the actual era correct?
Oh, he's got
small clone.
He's probably got he's got several things, and so yeah, he had multiple small clones and DS1s around like the old ones,
Yeah.
and so I got enough where he can spare a couple for me,
That's
and I got an old rat that it's
Oh,
great
yeah.
too. The rat's what's so great about it is he has the battery part coming out of it and then spliced on a spot to plug in an adapter. So it's one of the old ones
Ooh,
that
nice.
only ran on 9-volt that's been converted. So I mean, yeah, it sounds awesome through a 2-rock. Oh my gosh,
I was gonna
it's
ask
glorious.
You, like, yeah, I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
how that will sound, but like, I bet
Oh,
it
it's
sounds
wonderful.
good.
Well, and what's nice too is I don't really use the drive side on my Bloomfield
Yeah.
on this, and it's just the most glorious, ferocious clean
Yeah, I
for
would say I bet it sounds
Teen
awesome.
Spirit intro things like that, where it's just it's perfect, and then just step on the DS1. That's the neat thing. You get a couple of those right tools like those pedals, and I've never had an easier time obtaining Kurt's sound. It's just like boom,
Well,
there
I mean,
it is.
That's
It's
the
great.
fun part, and why he's such a like good guitar hero for the beginner
Yeah.
guitar players. Because like the songs aren't too complicated to play. You have to learn maybe a few complicated
Yeah.
things every here and there, but like even then on like tone chasing, it's the same kind of thing. Like he falls in
Mm-hmm.
that category to me, like the same with like blues players, where it's like, man, how do I get that Stevie tone? How do
Yeah.
I get that Clapton tone? It's like
Kurt tone.
Well, buy a $6,000 guitar.
No.
But it's like,
Well, I mean-
it's super easy. Of like, you can have whatever kind of cheap, terrible little amp.
Yeah.
And as long as it's clean, and you can buy a DS1 or you can buy a tube screamer or something like that,
Yeah.
you're going to be pushing that tone
I
pretty
mean, you don't even
close.
need the vintage stuff to get there. I mean,
Yeah.
we have those things in the cabinet right now, But yeah, the old ones, there's all sorts of different circuits and transistors that make some of that classic stuff classic, I suppose. Mr.
Yeah.
Smooth in the house.
But no, that'll be exciting. I'm going to have to talk to Morgan see if she
Yeah.
wants to go out because it's a nice day for it.
It'll be a lovely evening, yeah, out there. Like I said, they got a great little outside area to hang, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Celebrate the music of Kurt. So
Yeah.
it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. Yeah.
What's your favorite song that you have to play for tonight?
Oh gosh, there's a bunch. I don't know
Are
the
you guys
name of
doing
it.
Breed?
yeah, we're
that's
definitely doing
my-
that
that's
one. No,
my
that
favorite
one's
one.
that one's one of my favorite ones. Like I said, I would put In Bloom in that category if I could hit that dang high note, but that's fine. I still love playing the song. It's a great one.
All you need is a helium tank in the back right before you go on.
yeah, that would be helpful for sure. But then even some of the other stuff like Francis Farmer Gets her Revenge on. I mean, that's just cool.
Yeah.
And
Are you guys doing Scentless Apprentice?
Scentless Apprentice, that's insane. I don't know why Johnny wants to do that to himself vocally. That's just unnecessary, but it's awesome. And then. What's the other one too that I realized? Serve the Servants is fun.
Oh,
it's
Serve the
just,
Servants.
Talk about just at 3 chords, but it's how you play them with that tone. It's just there it is again. It's
Sometimes simplicity is the best way to get the
Yeah.
message across.
well, and Kurt, he had that. I mean, he had like these attitude behind it, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to call them like happy accidents, but then all these things that happen in the studio with the chaos become stuff that I mean, it's
Yeah.
getting, it's fun. It's fun going down that rabbit hole.
Well, it's like it's super evident in his songwriting that I really enjoy because it's like I always tell people, I'm like, kind of the 90s was the revitalization of the 70s, where it was like, kind of the big party aspect and like the fame and glamour
Yeah.
of rock and roll kind of took a nosedive and once again became about like just real authentic expression.
Well, it was another movement too when
Yeah.
it comes to like guitar stuff. I mean, the '80s there was a lot of great bands in the '80s, but
Oh,
it seemed
nothing
like
wrong
when
with the 80s. I love the 80s for what it is.
yeah, but like when the grunge thing hit, it was a literal shift. I remember hearing, you know, yeah, Motley Crue and like Ozzy, and then Teen Spirit comes on. You're like, I know this is technically the same, but this is not the same as the other
Yeah.
songs like I just listened to.
Well,
This
it's
is
like
what is going on,
Wasn't it Warrant who did
Yeah.
Cherry Pie? Was like 1990, like right on the cusp.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you guys are going to be the next
Man, these are gonna
big
be
thing
great.
and stuff like that. And then literally the next year, Nevermind drops, and it's like, you guys
It's more like Nevermind
are
Warrant.
terrible.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need you anymore.
It was just a massive shift, and like the whole guitar thing went that way, and it's neat analyzing all those guys with Nirvana kind of blazing the trail, so to speak,
Yeah.
and then you find your Pearl Jams and your Soundgardens and
Yeah.
your Smashing Pumpkins and STP, and it's just
Well, and that's what
It's
it's
crazy.
Like, it's kind of, I always compare it to like, you can take the grunge bands and you can kind of tell who was a big influence of the big classic groups because it's like Nirvana is the Beatles of the grunge movement, where it's very
Kurt wrote a pop
It's-
song, man.
it's a pop
It's
song.
yeah,
It's-
he wrote a great pop song.
Yeah.
just like the beat. Yeah, I mean,
and so like
absolutely.
it's more of the happier, poppier side of rock and stuff with it. Because I mean, like literally take like "Drain You." That's a pop song of like a 1-4-5 progression, but with a little extra of like "One baby." Like you could literally have Paul McCartney
Yeah.
and John Lennon singing that together.
But then the lyrics about chewing my meat free. I don't know. There's some interesting.
That would've
it-
been a Paul
It's
song.
happy and dark all at the same time, and it's really cool. But then, sorry, you were then.
oh, I
you
was
know.
saying like then you can take like you could definitely tell Alice in Chains was the Black Sabbath of the group.
Yeah.
Like
oh yeah.
heavy,
I didn't mean to leave them out.
bluesy and like just
Uh-huh.
gloomy. And then
Gloom.
Soundgarden to me was like Frank Zappa.
Yeah.
And then Pearl Jam to me was the Led Zeppelin of the group. Like it was
They
just
were.
kind of a
But
little
a
bit
Zeppelin
more
with-
rock. Zeppelin 3 era where you still had a
Yeah.
little bit like the harder rock, but then like they could also mess around and have, a little bit of the softer side too.
But then you add in, I think for that, a sprinkle of like a guy like Dylan. When you have a lyricist like Eddie Vedder, who can he can talk about the wall being gray and it can make you cry. Like how
Yeah.
he says it is unreal, and you juxtapose that with the bluesy rock and roll of
Yeah.
that stuff. It's just what a band they are.
But,
So
like,
cool.
I can kind of take those and like it's kind of almost like the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, just the clock is struck twice.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I like that about the grunge movement and stuff. And like that's the thing for me overall as a whole. I don't love just a ton of I like quite a bit of the grunge stuff, but it's like I got to be in a mood for it. But I think that's one of my favorite aspects of like the 90s and 2000s rock stuff compared to somewhat of like the 80s and even somewhat of the 70s, depending on the artist. There was a lot more of like really good lyricism and trying to like really tell something or get a vision or a message across with
Yeah.
the music, but also like you said, the revitalization of like guitar work. Because to me, the thing I love about like 90s and 2000s rock is like as a songwriter and as a composer, I like listening to it because it's like there are some flashy bits here and there, but like a lot of it was reduced down to what serves the song.
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's where the 80s kind of started getting a little out of the whack, and that's where like why the grunge movement took off so well, and why so many people didn't find themselves attached to 80s rock as much anymore, because you had so many good guitar players. And like it was kind of the virtuoso age where it's like you had your Yngwie, you had your Steve, you had your Joe, etc.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had Eddie. Like you just had these dudes who were shredding.
Just
and literally
unbelievable players.
guitar and like rock music became like how much can I show off how good I am at the guitar?
Yeah.
And it kind of became less about the song, and then it's also started becoming a lot of like party, like women, drugs,
Well, yeah.
and parties.
Well, so then you swing that way so hard, you have to have something that swings back
Exactly.
the other direction, kind of like in the 70s where it was a lot of that stuff, and you have bands like, and this isn't a knock, I absolutely love Queen.
Yeah.
But like when you have something that's so almost perfect and layered like that, it's like punk became a birth because it's like, that's too stupid. Let's just yell at people and, and not saying that it is, but, it's the pendulum going the other direction, and I think with the rock stuff too that happened in the 90s, a lot of it was how you record it, not
Yeah.
it's not just the players, but you get guys like Butch Vig, who was a
yeah.
producer. I mean, he went everywhere from In Garbage, produces Nevermind, produces Cypress Hill. I mean, some of the biggest hip hop albums of the early 90s this guy did, and he's just some dude who knew how to EQ stuff. I mean, obviously it's more to it than that, not to, but you know, it's like things just sound different.
But I mean,
after
honestly,
a
you're
bit,
not
and it's
wrong.
really
At the
really
end of
cool.
the day, as a producer, you don't have to be like the most scientifically minded person, know
Yeah.
exactly how audio engineering. Like that's Rick Rubin. The dude will literally say in every interview, he knows nothing about music. He knows nothing about audio engineering. He just knows what's good and what isn't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, honestly, and
He's made
he
some of
has
the best
records-
albums
Yeah, he has the
ever.
records to back him up,
Ever.
so I can't argue with him on it.
Johnny Cash, Tom Petty, the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, Chili Peppers. I mean, just
He's been everywhere.
some of the best records I've ever heard.
Now,
that
my
Rick
least favorite
Rubin.
part about him is in his stint in the 2000s when he kept over compressing every single record. That was like his
Well-
signature, where it was like over compression. It's like, all right, Rick, all right, I get you.
Yeah,
Enough,
it's flat.
enough."
It's flat, isn't it? Yes. It is.
But no, that's I think the really cool part, because then like once again the pendulum swings kind of the other way, where it's like some of your 2000s rock became a little too much like the 80s, where it's like it lost kind of the shredder mentality, but it became like, how much can I look the rock part? Because it's like
Right.
90s was super grunge, and you had a lot of new, like, no joking, but like new metal. So I'm talking both NEW, but also NU umlaut.
That's true. Yes, we did.
Where it's like then metal and hard rock became super over popular, like polished,
Well,
and super commercial.
yeah.
Where it's like every it band was the same kind of band. That's why Creed faced criticism. That's why Nickelback faced criticism, because like I think Creed didn't deserve it where Nickelback kind of does. Where I think Nickelback is a good band, and like you can kind of look back on them now and enjoy some of the music. Where it's like, okay, you know, now that's not on the radio every 5 minutes. I can enjoy this now.
Yeah.
But it kind of is still listening back to some of it.
Yeah.
Where it's like this felt like it was written by a machine, and then the machines became musicians who kind of sang and did their thing.
Yeah.
And it's like I can get why that
Dead
pendulum
alive.
swinged around the other way too.
You made it, buddy.
Hey, boys.
You got that car up and running, huh?
Well, I get in the car this morning, and it just goes,
Oh, hey, dude, mine did the same thing.
and I was like, what's going on? So I'm sitting there, and I just realized the battery's connection was really bad.
Oh no.
So got the wire brush out, did the whole thing. So
Made it
Did you
happen.
do what I did this morning? I accidentally rewind the battery. I was just so tired and put it back in. I put the positive on first and then tried to put the ground on. And it started going bzz, bzz, and I was like, I could have just died. This could have been it. My wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's on there now.
It's fine.
Hey.
Everything's fine.
it's
Everything's
rock and
fine.
roll.
Yeah. So we just been on a '90s rock and roll tangent.
Yeah.
While
It's
you've
been
been
nice.
Yeah.
We were talking about Mike's show, and that just kind of
and
got us talking about.
it just went off. Yeah.
Nice.
So we're already up to the 2000s now and talking about the sonic capture of a lot of rock and roll bands
Yeah.
from the early 2000s. So the other pendulum swing then, from everything you're saying, is the garage rock revival. The White
Yes, and
Stripes,
indie rock too.
the Hives, the Strokes, all those guys. They're kind of borderline on the Indian garage, but they had, again, kind of cheap gear that nobody liked, and that was whatever, kind of like the 90s thing. It's like, oh, we can find these cheap, and then all of a sudden that cheap sound becomes the sound. And everybody wants an airline guitar from Montgomery Ward because of Jack
Exactly.
White, you know, and it's just, it's crazy.
And then I feel like the pendulum swung back around towards the 2010s, where it's like it was kind of a weirder one, where it's like I don't even know how the pendulum really swung that way, but it's like then rock kind of lost its edge entirely and just became indie music. And so like
Yeah.
your rock music really was just kind of like Young the Giant and you know, Coldplay and stuff like that. They were the faces
Well,
of rock, and it's like I don't dislike those bands and I don't dislike that music, but that's where it's like I don't find myself in that era of rock too often. Now I do really like Young the Giant, but it's like not a whole lot of that. Now we're seeing it kind of swing back.
Well,
the other way
and
around.
it's the record companies, I think, that
Oh,
it's cheaper to
100%.
produce an individual than a whole band.
Oh,
You know what I
100%.
mean? It's like you got to appease 5 people's egos rather than just one. And
Yeah.
so they don't want to sign bands as much anymore because
Mm-hmm.
they're a pain,
yeah.
even though they're awesome. I don't know. It's
I see it
kinda
moving back
sucks.
the other way though. Like
Yeah.
with how polished pop music and everything's been, I think we're starting to see like people want authenticity. They want to have like real messages and they want to have this. And it's like it sounds silly, but like you and I, we're big Chapel Roan fans, but it's like
Love her, I love
her
Chapel.
pop is just really fun.
Yeah.
Madonna like pop music where it's like it's just fun. At the end of the day, it's not so introspective, but there's still a substance and meaning behind it. But like even then, I think she's doing pretty good stuff for like the rock movement because like
Yeah.
her live shows have a rock and roll band basically
Oh, yeah.
playing with her.
Yeah.
And she just had Ann Wilson
Just
from
had
Heart.
from Heart, yeah, or
play
Nancy.
with her.
Nancy.
Nancy,
Is it
yeah.
yeah, Nancy's
Ann's
the
the-
guitar.
Ann's
Ann's
the
the singer.
Country music singer.
Yeah.
No, I think that's also her sister.
Well, there's Ann and Nancy Wilson.
And then there's Lainey
Yeah.
Wilson.
And then there's Lainey.
But yeah, Nancy, dude, the Did you see her telecaster that she was
Yeah,
playing? That
purple
purpley
sparkle thing.
one?
That was pretty rad.
That was pretty cool.
Matched her boots.
Jordan, what do you think about Chapel Roan?
God, what have you done?
He doesn't have a microphone. So.
You're a big pony girl.
Well, on that note,
I think that's a good place to end it.
I guess we do have to.
We did
open the
70s all
store.
the way up to
You know, we're talking about
current day.
our very own Chapel Roan. Yeah, absolutely.
Chapel, come hang out with us on the live stream
Yeah,
sometime.
right. If you're watching, I'm sure you are.
day
Yeah,
one
I
of
did.
asking Chapel Roan to be on our live stream.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, have a happy weekend, friends.
Yeah.
Come see us. It's
Come
a
see
beautiful
Mike.
day to come see some guitars and come hear some later this evening after the store closes. So
Yeah.
is it coincidence that Palin closes at 7 and my show starts at 7? No.
No,
Dude, and when Mike has the vest on, watch out.
I'm invested.
I didn't know.
Deals
I
will
was
be
even see the
slinging.
vest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
guitars will be singing.
I'm telling you what.
Man, don't bring your wives though.
No, whatever. Happily married. It's all right.
Oh, I know that. It's
Yes. Yeah. It is what it
forbidden
is.
fruit.
It is what it is.
temptation. You're just too handsome.
Here we go.
Here we go. Have
All
a
right.
great weekend, y'all.
Bye, guys.